Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Now this feels weird. This is my first time doing a YouTube video and I don't know where to look. So I keep flipping between here and here. Sorry. But yeah, hi, I am Shubhi. More often I am known as Reader Shack on Instagram. I have been on Instagram for 5 years at this point, and I was getting really tired of cutting down my 10-minute reviews to 1-minute reels, and I finally decided that it's time I start my YouTube channel so that I can yap for as long as I want about my books. This video is just to let you know that what you can expect on this channel. So yeah, I'm going to be talking about books, of course. I mostly read fantasy, romance, romantasy, thrillers. Yeah, but I've also been delving into literary fiction quite a lot this year. One of my favorite lit fic reads is Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Gabriel Zevin. I swear by that book. I don't think I've ever read a book more beautiful and more immersive about human relationships and human feelings than that. But yeah, keeping that aside, I love my enemies to lovers, grumpy sunshine, office romance, all of those. I am somebody who's going to bawl their eyes out at 3 a.m. about a fictional character because, yeah. Also, a little bit about my reading journey. So, I've always loved books. As a child, I'm a 90s kid and I used to love reading Champak. My dad used to get me two each month and I used to love those. But then life happened, studies happened, and I sort of grew out of it. But again, COVID hit in 2020 and I was at home doing nothing basically, like most of us. And that's when I got back into reading and it hasn't stopped since. And to make this video a little bit more interesting, I'm just going to talk about some of my favorite books here, so you know what kind of a reader I am and what I like reading. Some of them I read recently and some of them are old favorites. So first one is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. I recently read this book like last month and I have fell in love with this. I have fell in love with V.E. Schwab's writing. This was my first V.E. Schwab. I am in love with the writing. I am in love with the storytelling. What a masterpiece, dude. The way she talks about Addie's pain. So basically, if you don't know, this book is set in 1400s and it's a story about a girl named Addie LaRue who sort of wants to go out and explore the world, but she's being forced to get married. She doesn't want to get married, of course. So she prays to the old gods for granting her more time, and guess what? She gets the time, but the time comes with the curse. The curse is that she's gonna live, she'll get more time, but nobody's gonna remember her. She's invisible, hence the invisible life of Addie LaRue. Now she goes on centuries and centuries roaming around the earth. Now she's going on centuries and centuries roaming the earth and she can't leave a trace. Just this book is beautiful storytelling. It's slow, it's not action packed fast, none of that, but it's slow, it's thoughtful, it's thought provoking. And yeah, I loved it. Then the next one of my most favorite authors is Taylor Jenkins Reid. The first book I read by her was Evelyn Hugo. Of course, loved that book to bits. It's not here currently. She is also a great storyteller. Also, I'm in between reading Atmosphere as well. Yeah, Daisy Jones and the Six and Carrie Soto's Back. Amazing books about amazing women. Also, like, Daisy Jones is done in such a different way. It's in an interview format. I listened to it as an audiobook and enjoyed it to bits. Another recent favorite, I think this is the last book I read, The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang. Again, what? I always thought that I was a romantasy girl, but after reading this book, I think I might be into high fantasy books. I don't know how to go about and describe this book to you. It's about a girl who comes from a very poor family. She's orphaned. She lives with her aunt and uncle and they just want to marry her off. Again, the same story continues. So she gives this exam to get into this big huge academy where you are trained to be a warrior. Senegard is the name, and yeah, she gets into that academy. No, that's not a spoiler, by the way. There's also a war, hence Poppy War. It's a series for those who don't know, and I already got the second part. It's The Dragon Republic. It's a trilogy. As far as I know, there are 3 books in the series. The first book that I read by R.F. Kuang was Yellow Face, and to be honest, I did not enjoy that book. Yeah, so I was like, I don't know. But her writing is so diverse. Like, this is so different from what Yellowface was. And yeah, I really enjoyed it, and I'm really looking forward to read more of RF Kong's work. Probably even Babel. I think I'm gonna love that book too. Now, next is my utmost favorite fantasy. I read this in 2021, I think. It was the first fantasy book that I ever read, and I fell in love with it. I think this is the best duology to ever grace this earth. It's the Six of Crows duology by Lee Bardugo. This duology has everything. There's a heist, there's morally grey characters, there's fighting, there's love, the slow burn, the tension. There's also grief and sadness, which killed me. If you know, you know. And yeah, the magic system in this book is very easy to understand. Doesn't take a lot of brains to figure it out, and I loved it. Another one of my favorite authors is Emily Henry. This is my favorite book of hers. I love Emily Henry's writing. I love the characters and the world that she builds. I think she truly does romance the best, in my opinion. I'm not a big romance girly, but I do enjoy it occasionally. I've read all the books by her, and I love every single one of them. But yeah, Funny Story is my favorite. So yeah, these are just some of the books that describe my taste in reading. And if you like these books, if your reading taste is similar, then please subscribe to my channel. I'm sure you're gonna have a great time on here. And yeah, that's it, I guess. I don't know how to end this. These videos are going to progressively get better, I hope. I really enjoyed this. There's like no time constraint, and I love it. And yeah, I think that's it for this video. I'll see you in the next one. Follow me on Instagram. If you are still here, I hope you had a great time watching this video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.